You ready?
Let's go.
What's up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of Thinking with Mike. And today I got with me, I thought it was Pitbull, but fucking A, he forgot his sunglasses. This is Troy Thompson. He's a crusher in insurance, and he's also opened up a brand new business with virtual assistants.
Hey, Mike.
What's going on?
Not much.
So,
Just enjoying the World Cup.
Yeah, me too, totally.
It's exciting.
Yeah.
Exciting times.
Completely uninterested in soccer, in case anybody's wondering.
You don't like 0-0 ties? And then us proclaiming victory?
So to be honest with you, the thing I don't like about soccer is, and this is the same thing with basketball, is the amount of flopping. Like it really just wrecks it for me.
It's worse.
Like a couple of years ago, I'm like, all right, I'm going to watch the World Cup. I'm just going to do this because this is like something that everybody else is into. I can get the jam of it. I played soccer when I was a kid. And it was like every effing second, some dude's just flopping on the ground. I'm like, these are grown ass men.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just don't dig it. It doesn't seem like the sport I was looking. And so I tried.
Are they really injured?
Just fizzled right out.
The dude that scored yesterday, he was like in a hospital bed saying, you know, he'll be ready for Saturday. It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
really? You barely ran into the goalie, but you're like in a hospital bed now?
Fucking dead. So anyways, that's what killed it for me. It's not the sport, it's not anything else. It's just like it was just unwatchable with the amount of like,
Yeah.
if I want to watch a shitty play, like I'll go watch a shitty play.
It's a fun sport to play. I played it too.
It's really cardio intensive.
No doubt.
Yep. Anyways, so we wanted to talk about I just think in general people will just like have a lot of questions about insurance and business and stuff like that. It's something that I got a freaking pile of policies. You probably know how many I have. I don't know how many I have, but it's a lot.
15.
Yeah, it's a lot. And you just keep loading them up.
That's right, baby.
And it freaking matters.
Insurance does matter big time. And as we're all going to be seeing in 2023, we're going to be seeing big rate increases on insurance.
What's up with that? Every time I call him, I'm like trying to shop my rates and shit. And he goes, yeah, been meaning to talk to you about that. We actually got to jack this up because it's not enough.
Everybody's going up. So what I'm trying to tell you is you're fucked.
The last time I called him to try to see if I could get a better deal, he ended up selling me an extra more policies
Because
deep uninsured.
Deep down, yeah.
I'm underinsured.
You want to protect your family from financial ruin, right? Mm-hmm. That's what insurance is for.
Yeah, you go and talk about it, and then he's like, "Oh yeah, the market's gone up, so you probably need a higher replacement cost," which is a lot of truth, honestly.
I had a guy, $600,000 house in Rogers last year, paying $3,000 a year, which is a lot.
That's a lot.
But it was a high protection class. This year, it's $4,000. It went up.
What?
Well, the house went from $600,000 to $706,000.
Yep.
So that's like a 17% increase just in the value of the home, which is
That's
accurate.
probably light from what it's actually worth too.
Yeah, to rebuild the house. Now, with real estate coming down, it's going to be a little bit tricky over the next few years, but I haven't seen like replacement costs going down. I think labor and materials are still ridiculously expensive, so interesting time we're in.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, and it's like, yeah, I mean, we're coming down a little bit, but I think we're gonna, from what I can gain, I think we're gonna lose 2021 gains.
Ooh, I thought you were gonna say 21%. I was like, ooh, this is gonna be good.
No, not. I mean, that's
a year
lot,
ago.
though.
It is a lot.
It's probably 10-15% in general. What happened in 2021.
Yeah.
I think we're gonna lose that, and then I think we're gonna kind of hold tight.
There
There is a bottom to this, by the way.
You realtors, there is. But you realtors a year ago, and I don't know if you said it, Mike, but I'm going to push back a little bit. Everybody said there's not going to be a correction. It's going to plateau. They're not going to keep going up, but they're not going to be going down.
So I think that's what's going on, though, and what we're actually seeing there is that that honestly in 2021 things started getting weird because in 2020, I'll give you some context. I used to be able to just buy a townhome as an investor, and I could just cash flow it like that. You could just pick a townhome and you'd cash flow based on that. 2021 that kind of broke, and all of a sudden it started becoming impossible for investors, even though the interest rates were low, to cash flow on these properties because the prices they were outpacing that. And so when I say 2021, this is when the narrative started changing. Because if we roll through 2021's pricing and we come back down, that's where I see the bottom hitting, because that's where investors can start just buying shit and putting cash flow in there. Mm-hmm. And it's like buying a cash machine.
Yeah. So you're saying 10%, 15% reduction from 2021 highs?
Yeah, I think so. I think that's what I think those market's capable. Now, if the Fed changes course, which who freaking knows what the hell they're going to do, that could change things.
Like raise interest rates or lower? Or
Well, if they lowered interest rates or even paused them or whatever.
Paused interest rates?
That could
like
change
0%?
No, like they just left them where they are.
Right.
I think the market would get used to it eventually.
True. But what's the problem is, what's worse than no sellers?
No buyers.
No buyers.
There's plenty of fucking buyers out there, by the way.
Really?
There's picky as hell.
Right.
Like they're real
Because now they have leverage, right? Because they got screwed for 2 years where they couldn't buy a house.
What they have is a lot of uncertainty. It's the whole adage. People, like we've been hearing this forever. Because like if you're a buyer out there, you can get some pretty favorable terms. Like you really can. It's pretty freaking great. And I think anybody who buys a house between now and 2025 is going to be really stoked in 2026, 2027. Because we're just temporarily pausing. But it's the old adage is people say that I'm going to wait till the market comes down, and the market comes down. They said we're going to wait for the market to fucking go up because it's going to keep
the
going
buyers
down.
Oh, yeah. So let me ask you this. That house in the typical American neighborhood, kind of neighborhoods you sell in, which are between the $500,000 $1 million houses, that sold for, let's say, $750 in 2021. Now a buyer is going to try to go in and buy that house that's still on the market for $750 because the seller thinks that's what it's worth.
Yep.
Because his realtor didn't do a good job, right? So he's going to put in an offer for $6. And then what usually happens? Because doesn't that offend the sellers? Because they think my neighbor sold that house, same house I have, for what I'm asking for. What's going on?
So people who get offended are actually pretty rare. Like that's a fucking stupid way to sell anything. Like I'm offended. What the hell does that have to do with anything? So what we run into is whether or not they can or can't. That's what we run into. It's folks who can't. So if you buy in 2021, you bought that house in 2021, there's a limit to that. Even if you brought 20% equity, there's a limit to where you can go. And in going into 600, you probably can't. And so you get walled up and locked up there. Mm-hmm. Now the people who can, they'll just counteroffer and you'll find yourself at 7, which is probably what that house is worth now.
Do you coach your buyers not to undercut too much on the value?
It depends upon whether they want it or not. Okay, so this is what I tell people. It's like, if you're buying a house that you can easily replace, like fucking A, let's go for it. Let's dig deep. No, but if that house is something you can't replace and something you've been looking for a while, like don't fuck with it and get it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Right, so if it's a lake home or acreage or something that you've been really, really waiting for, something that it's been years since you've seen it, like don't mess with it. But if you're just looking for, traditional 2-story or a townhome or something like that, like
go for it.
Why the hell not? We'll just wait for the next one.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's been my strategy, honestly, across the board.
So you're saying there's a lot of buyers, but there aren't a lot of sellers still, and that was always the problem.
Sellers are just like, so if you bought in 2021 or 2020, you have a 3% interest rate, unless you have a reason to sell, like a relocation. That's where a lot of my sellers are right now. Like we're relocating, we got to sell the house. Like I love the house, but we got to go.
Sure. Those are gold, right?
Yeah, they're also tough because they bought, so there's a high watermark. What I mean? So let's say you bought a house for like 500 and the ask price was 450, right? The market reacted to that 450. So now like you paid 500, but the high watermark was at 5, and so now you're at 450. Mm-hmm. And so that's kind of what it looks like. So you have somebody who bought that house. That's kind of a tough spot to be for a seller, especially if you're relo, because there's not much you can do. You run out of bandwidth. You run out of room.
And relo, they have no option, so they got to sell it, right?
Yeah, and you can't really cash flow the rent either, right? Like I said, in 2021, rent,
the rent's going up because I heard the rents are going up too now.
It's been the ones I've rented, it's been a little bit more touchy than usual. Now, at time of year, it's the first time I've ever put a tenant in a rent, but the last one I filled, which was a couple of months ago, it's the last time I've had to reduce rent.
Really?
Yep.
How is rent going down when there's not enough inventory, not enough housing?
So I got really fucking greedy. Okay. So I ran the numbers at 1,100, put it on the market, put it on the market at 1,300 and got 12. Okay.
$100 isn't a big,
What's $1,200 a year? That's a big deal.
It's big money.
That's
one nice dinner out with your family, right?
Exactly. Yep. It's the difference between something breaking. I just sent a plumber over the other day because the sump pump just like a latch broke and just clanking all over the fucking place. $250 later. Like that sucks.
To show up, right?
Yep.
Oh, unbelievable.
So it's the first time I've had a multifamily. It's a 4-plex. So I hear from people who the sump pump is in their unit. I hear from the people who is next to their unit.
Everybody's bitching.
And they're all coming. I knocked and went down to their basement and looked at it, and it's clanking. Like everybody's telling about it. So I get them over there. It's $250. But
did you go out there and try to fix it yourself?
No. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. Got right over there.
Oh,
No,
man.
and my delightful partner, Nick, he came over there and he took care of business. It was awesome. It actually had clogged in the outside. So like the sump pump was trying to eject water and then it froze in the outside. And so it was just trying to pump water out into a wall of ice.
Mm-hmm. And I'm guessing you have good people like Nick to help with all those situations, right?
Handyman, and a good plumber who's flexible. Like those are invaluable
Oh, heck yeah.
people to get.
For people thinking about buying their own rental property, are you a good source to talk to? Would you be happy to talk to them about that and some of the stuff you've learned?
Hell yeah. Yeah, it just boils down to a spreadsheet and your risk tolerance and how are you going to pay for the fucking thing, honestly. Mm-hmm. That's the big difference. Like, do you have a bunch of money or need to raise money or are you going to house hack it? Or but yeah, definitely.
Okay. What are some of the things you've learned that you might have done differently when you first started getting into renting out houses?
Nothing.
Just start?
I feel like I freaking nailed it, to be honest with you.
Really?
Yep.
I was down in your office just now and you were talking about a nice little hack you learned. Do you mind sharing that with the audience?
So cost segregation is freaking great, but it's really tough when you just have a few single family homes. So what's cost segregation does is it separates it breaks down your property. So your property is made up of different depreciable pieces, right? So you have the land, you have to take that out. You're not going to depreciate that. You can't depreciate it. Then you have the structure, which you can depreciate over what I think is 27 years. And you can straight line that and just divide it by 27 years and take that off. Or you can separate the land into the other depreciable assets. So you may have a refrigerator, you might have flooring, you might have paint.
Land's never going to depreciate.
What?
Right.
That's why you take it out.
True.
So you take the land out, then you have the structure. But the structure is made up of different things that have different depreciation schedules.
Like a roof.
Right?
That's what insurance is for.
Yeah, roof, you have your flooring, your appliances, all your shit. And so you can take those out, and those are on a different depreciation schedule. So you do cost segregation is what you're doing is you're pulling apart the different pieces of the property and putting them on a different segregation timeline, right? So the refrigerator may be 5 years.
Really?
And so that's what that cost seg. I was talking
like
to that guy.
The IRS says it's like you can depreciate your fridge for 5 years or something like that. Everything has
everything has a different schedule.
Interesting.
And right now you can front load a lot of that. You can do like 100% of that and take it in year one. So you can separate it all up, and then you can take it, and then you take that big lump sum.
Then you have cash to buy another rental.
You save your taxes. That's the worst thing. That's the best thing that real estate can do for you is that it removes your tax liability. It's just sweet, you guys.
That's what Uncle G talks about all the time. I mean,
yep. That's Grant Cardone, by the way.
Uncle G, baby. Yeah, most millionaires by far. I mean, it's not just Grant Cardone. Everybody talks about
Robert Kiyosaki, too. That's why he calls you an idiot if you're paying taxes. Because you don't have to. It's an option.
I got to buy some real estate, man.
Yeah, you should. I've been telling you that forever.
Yeah. And the one thing I'm doing now is building a house that is not even an asset.
You can depreciate it.
I know, but they say that's not really, even Grant Cardone
It's pretty weak.
Yeah, it's pretty weak.
Yeah.
But
if you want to go balls out, you can go ahead and borrow against that all your properties and just leverage them.
Leverage the heck out of it. And then the market's going to tank even more.
It doesn't matter if it's cash flowing.
That's right, baby. Hey, where's the boom?
Oh, there's no boom. Okay, so let's talk about insurance. Okay, how did you get into insurance?
Got very, very lucky. My dad was a farmer's agent, went independent. I joined him a year later and started knocking in weather. You know, I started selling insurance door to door in weather just like this.
Yep.
And I did it for 2 years and built my book of
FYI,
business up.
it's shitty out. It's -1 degrees with snow on the floor.
For you listeners in the Bahamas and Hawaii and Thailand,
it's cold.
It's cold. That wind, man. Ooh.
I know. That's what gets you.
It does. It cuts right through you. So got into insurance and done very well. But like I said, I got very lucky because to start from scratch costs a lot of money in insurance. You don't make a lot of money right away like Mike does. He makes $5,000, $10,000 per sale. I make I have to $300 per sale. But then over time, you try to do things like keep your customers happy, like Mike, and then it pays for it after a few years because you get the renewals, hopefully, if you do a good job. So that's how I got into insurance, man. And
door knocking,
door to door, baby. In
fact,
well, I still go door to door. I was going door to door a week and a half ago.
Yep.
Some insurance agent from Hudson wanted to follow me. So she and her, another gal she works with came out and the first 3 people we talked to, first 3 doors we knocked on, we got leads where people gave us their phone number, email. Obviously, I had their address. I knew the company they were with. It's the easiest thing in the world.
Yep.
And it's free.
Yep. That's, by the way, if you're going to door knock, we've done this. This is actually how I met Troy. He's like, let's go fucking door knocking. And I'm like, what the hell are you talking about?
We got to give Mike Hall.
But we did.
We got to give Ken Rife a shout out for introducing us too.
Yep.
But yeah, we went door to door around Lake Minnetonka talking to $1 million plus houses. And I don't think we sold anything, but hey.
No, we met a bunch of people, but we gave up right away too.
Yeah. Went and grabbed some beers. And
that was all she wrote.
Just kidding.
But by the way, when you're door knocking, that is the goal. We actually got invited in and we did a CMA with those people. Remember?
Yeah, a couple of them.
Totally botched the pricing on it. I'm like, yeah, this is $2 million walking. I'm like, fuck, this isn't even close to $2 million. I did follow up, but it was like 1.5.
And then there was that guy with his daughter. I think he was getting a divorce or he was a single guy or
got
whatever.
his
Did
number.
you ever follow up with him?
God, I should call him.
Yeah,
It's probably
come on, man.
Damn it. That was a good lead. Yeah, I'm just here temporarily, but I want to get on the lake in 2 years. I remember that distinctly.
Yep. And I do remember the other one that let us walk through their entire house.
Yep.
And, yeah.
Yep, did this. But anyways, the goal of door knocking is to, one, build rapport, but it's to get phone numbers and emails, and that's how you actually end up converting them over time. It's not to find somebody to bring you in to sell their house immediately or to write the insurance policy. You just need phone numbers and emails, and then you can call them afterwards.
And it's 1,000 times more valuable than like an internet lead.
Yep.
That gives you their phone number and email because you've shaken their hand, you've pet their dog, you've walked through their house, you know them, you've looked them in the eyes. So these people remember you. And just from that experience, just a week and a half ago, we sold 2 out of we got 15 leads in less than 2 hours.
You said 15 leads in 2 hours. That's a ton, you guys. You know how much that's worth?
Yeah.
Not to mention, it's actually kind of fun. And pro tip, I found out when we were door knocking back in I haven't door knocked in a while, just because, I don't know, just not because, but I did find a pro tip in the wintertime when sun goes down early. If you get out there at like 5 o'clock, you can literally knock 100% because you just knock the houses that have their lights on.
Ooh, that is a pro tip.
It's freaking awesome.
And if you're really good, you can tell when it's light out if they're home or not too. But that's like an advanced thing.
Different level.
I'll teach you that someday. Yep. Next level stuff.
Yep. You also have to overcome, like if you know people in the backyard, fucking hunt them down the backyard and stuff like that. They don't mind.
No, they don't. If they're in the garage, walk into the garage, crack a beer if they have one in their fridge and sit down with them. They don't mind at all. They don't care.
And the ones who do let you know immediately, or they peek through the window and then they just
you wave
put it down. You wave and then they never show up.
And then you do the side profile when you're on the door, so you're not staring through the glass.
Yep.
You know,
back off a little bit.
House. Yeah. Stand back. You're a tall guy, so that's important too. Yep. So I love door to door, and then also Dave Ramsey's been a big lead source over the years. We're endorsed local provider, but now they call it Ramsey Trusted.
Yeah.
So
I finally got the phone call from Dave last year.
Yeah.
And I passed.
Yeah.
Passed on it. I wish I wouldn't have, but I kind of glad I did because I'm not going to call those guys.
Yeah. Well, I think you pay 1% of your commission to him because he's got a real estate license.
They wanted 30.
Well, 1% of the 3 or 6, or you know how it works with realtors. You guys get 3% if on one side and 6.
Oh yeah,
both,
yeah. They want at least 1% of the work. Plus, they wanted like a monthly fee.
Oh yeah,
it was fucking expensive.
I pay $60,000 a year for that.
Yep,
right now.
That's actually cheap for lead gen. To be honest with you,
they're quality.
No, it's really
if Dave's listening, they're really quality leads.
Well, and not to mention like Dave right now, like. The people who listen to him like are sitting pretty right now, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
In real estate.
I would say. Hopefully.
Yep. He's actually open to more things than he's not. Anyways, not here to pitch Dave today.
No.
But it's a good one.
He's got some good things, but we also like Uncle G, Grant Cardone too.
If you blend like a Grant Cardone with bigger pockets, Robert Kiyosaki, and then Dave in there, you're gonna have a really good like full understanding of the different ways that you can invest in real estate or in life in general, honestly.
100%.
Really nice mix. Those are fucking people. What's your new business?
My new business is Savitel right here. It's a virtual assistant company. I've got, it's offshoring because we know it's hard to hire people these days in America. And those you do find know that they can go get another job really easy. Plus you have to pay a lot of money for these people. So it's the currency arbitrage where you can find people overseas that are going to work for half the cost, a third of the cost, work harder because they just don't have the opportunities like are here in America. So they're excited to work for an American company. So our people are out of Pakistan, and we started with 3 to 6 people, and now we're up to about 120 people, where we primarily help independent insurance agency owners with their back office staffing. Like with my company Pinnacle, we have 3 full-time working in our agency that just help the local team with all the stuff that they shouldn't be doing because they should be talking to the customers.
Yep.
Deepening those relationships, asking for referrals, rounding the accounts, and all that stuff. So
What's rounding the accounts mean?
like for you, next time we talk, I'll be like, Mike, you need like a $5 million umbrella.
I already have it.
I don't know if we have it up to 5.
Yeah, we do. We just did.
Do we?
Yeah. Damn it.
You are awesome.
He knows everything.
Mike is great. For you lawyers out there, don't just forget I said that because you don't want to go after a guy with $5 million umbrella.
No, you don't.
That was supposed to be a joke. That just didn't hit. Where's the laughter button?
Listen, I'm not losing the bag. Not going to happen. Damn it.
But if you do go after him, you're protected up to $5 million because your net worth is probably worth more than that. And not saying everything you have is $5 million now, but your future, you're going to be making 5, 10, 20, $100 million.
Yep.
Thinking big, baby.
That's something that you really need to do as your life scales. Like make sure you're scaling that policy as well, especially if you're getting like stuck things like rentals where there are people there and your exposure, continues to increase.
Yep, 100%, 100%. And most people don't do it until it's too late.
Yep.
Because you don't want to get that lawsuit and wish, man, an umbrella only would have cost me $300 a year.
It's super
now I'm
cheap.
Screwed. Yep, they're cheap. So
Actually, really cheap.
get your umbrellas. Going back to my virtual assistant company, happy to talk to anybody. I'm trying to get in the real estate and mortgage space. I'm not good at it. I kind of suck at it right now. We're doing great in insurance, but just to kind of break in.
You want some advice?
Yeah.
You have to learn how to call. The most successful people with back end call centers are the ones who learn how to are converting wholesale deals right now. So if you front load that process and you can bring that, people can literally just give you their lists to call, and your guys know how to call them, and they filter them out.
So could you repeat that? I didn't understand one thing.
So basically looking for a lead source. So like if I send you a list of 1,500 people,
Yeah.
you'd already have the back end support of how to convert those types of deals.
Sure. So just thinking out loud, if I were to have one of my people call your lead source. Hey there, this is Sarah with My Call Hancock Group Realty. Would love to see if you're interested in buying or selling. Mike would be happy to give you a call. Would that be okay with you? Can he give you a call sometime? That sounds terrible.
Terrible. It's the worst.
But I wouldn't want them to sell. I'd want them to set an appointment with you, right?
You'd already set up the appointment. You'd have the address. You'd have the, whether they live there or not.
Mm-hmm. Are you still living at XYZ 3rd Street?
No, you already know.
Right.
You can get lists like that.
But you don't want them selling for you on the phone because they're not going to be you, obviously.
You just set up a Zoom meeting. That's it.
Okay.
You just filter it, turn them from hot to cold, cold to hot.
So when can Mike meet? Can Mike meet with you here tomorrow at 3 p.m.? Something like that?
Yeah, but you'd know how to run the lists, right? So there's like wholesale leads where people are just trying to like arbitrage, or they're trying to like, we'll sell you the house for $250, and then you go and resell it for $275. So there's 2 different types of buyers there. You find the people who want to sell their house for a discount, and then you also need to find the people who want to buy the house for a little bit of the meat and potatoes. That's how the fuck's it called? That's how wholesaling works.
What the fuck?
You buy a house for $250, and then you call your investors and sell it to them for $275.
Okay.
It's a deal across the board, and then you take the spread. Or you could source,
kind of like flipping.
Yeah, it is flipping. So there's flipping and there's wholesaling, and a lot of wholesalers will actually flip to sell this to flippers.
Ooh.
So they'll get a house that's worth $300K. They'll buy it for $250, sell it to their investor for $275. The flipper will buy it for $275 and sell it for $375.
Okay.
Anyways,
that sounds advanced. I would just talk to you, and I want to.
But that's one of those things that you could do, or you could just like learn how to filter leads. Like, hey, we know how to call these types of leads. You buy the leads, give us the list, and we'll call them and filter them. And out of every 1,000, we'll give you, 25 leads. But if you can front load that system like you do, I'm sure in insurance.
We do have a telemarketing division for independent insurance agencies. So.
Yeah, right there. You do the same thing. You just redo it for
Because
it.
everybody wants more leads right now, right?
That's it.
There's a lot of realtors and mortgage people doing this, I would assume.
They charge per 1,000 leads.
Amen.
There you go. You're welcome.
Thank you.
That's how it would help.
Let's start a business.
And the rest of it's pretty touchy because you kind of you build a relationship with everybody else just like you would otherwise. Like you said, you need to be touching your consumers.
Touching them. That's our, pivoting to insurance now. We're going to have our meeting next week, our annual meeting. And the rally cry we have is retain, retain, retain.
Yes.
Because everybody's rates are going up 20, 30%. It's unbelievable right now. And if we have a high retention ratio, we're never going to have 100%. But if we can double where we're at now, we're in the low 90s. That's a lot of money.
Yep.
And our people deserve to know that we care. And it's kind of tricky because everybody calls and says, what is going on with my rates? And we field these calls 5-10 times a day.
Yep.
And we have to show empathy, but we also have to tell them the facts. Like, have you noticed that everything else in this country has gone up 20% at least? Your groceries, your gas, whatever. And then, of course, do a good job reviewing their account and just showing them that we care.
Yep,
is the goal.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's a reason behind it. Like if you're talking about just your home insurance, like if your house has gone up 25 to 50%, and your coverage isn't covering that, you're going to be caught and holding the bag.
Yeah,
with not enough money if something happens to your house.
Good point. And look at cars.
Yep.
Used cars have gone up 30, 40%. Yep. New cars have. Auto body shops have gone up that much. They can't get the parts. Their labor is out of the roof, so they're charging so much more.
I'm going to tell you a story. So when I was 25, maybe it was 26, at that time, like, because you get your license when you're 20 or 16 years old, like I just went with my parents' like insurance agent, right? And so by this time we had a 10-year relationship with my insurance company. And my credit card expired, and without a phone call, without anything, I found out that I was driving without insurance for fucking 5 months. Oof. Without them telling me, right, calling me.
Yeah, and that ain't right.
And I called the dude, and he just said, "Oh, let me look that up." He didn't have a fucking clue. 10-year client. So I don't know, how do you handle that?
Well, that's one of the things our VAs do. Every single day, they're looking for pending cancels. So we get notifications before somebody actually cancels. Yep. And then we send out texts and email reminders. We call them so they don't slip through the cracks. Yep. Because some people, if they don't pay their bill, and this happens every 6 months, eventually we got to let them go too, because they're just not good clients. But for those people where your credit card changes and you've been great for 10 years and all of a sudden we're going to be reaching out to you.
Dude, I had no idea. It was crazy. Yeah. And that was a time in my life that I was moving around. I was like in Vegas and all over the fucking place.
Oh, man. That sounds like a fun life.
It's crazy, dude.
What were you doing? Tell us another story of Vegas.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Were you hanging with Welvin?
Yes.
I want to tell the listeners, I call Mike Hall 0.0. Reminds me of Tosh 0.0, who Comedy Central, hilarious guy. Same kind of vibe that he gives, that dry humor. So watch Tosh 0.0 and let me know if I'm onto something or on something.
About that show. God. Yeah. So, but anyways, like that's actually how I lost a consumer at that time, and like I don't know, that actually like spurred a lot of my customer service from that experience of just like not giving a shit about somebody.
Yeah, you're talking your insurance agent.
Yeah. Never forget it.
It's all about customer service.
Freaking it pissed me off.
And what do you do, man? How do you touch your clients?
Constantly.
Really?
Constantly, honestly.
What kind of touching?
It's very, very expensive. You get shit in the mail all the time. We got parties constantly. But
I saw that little gift basket in your office. That looks pretty nice.
Yep.
That's for like closings.
Yep. So one of the persons we have Laura. She's on staff, and her whole job is to, I don't know how to say this, but like, I send shit to people all the time, and so I'll just give her a screenshot or of an idea or something like that, and she just designs it and puts it together. Nice. It's one of the coolest roles we have. It's the number one thing that I do is that I just send people stuff.
wow your past customers, right?
Yeah,
They're going to remember.
100% job is to organize like our events, stuff like that, but then just send out packages and like bring my ideas to life, which can be very, very frustrating at times because I'm scattered all over.
You probably have 10 ideas a day.
I come out of nowhere and just like, this is what the fuck we need to do.
She's like, hold on, Mike.
So the first time I met her, I tried to just scatterbrain her, and she just like put me in line. And it was fucking great because nobody else had done that before. She just looked at me and was like, just
needed to hear that, right?
Without saying it, like, fix yourself. Yep.
You guys are a good team. Yep. That's awesome.
So yeah, we definitely.
My invite must have got lost in the mail for one of your company events. I don't know.
What are you talking about?
I don't know. I haven't been to any.
Have I sold you a house?
Well, no.
What happened? I get a $2 bill from you every year.
See?
And I tip it to somebody. I don't seem to care.
You do?
Yeah, I always tip it out.
Yeah, that's $2 bills are pretty cool. You should incorporate that.
Yep.
They're worth probably a $20 bill.
Nuh-uh.
They're worth that much because people will look at them. It's the marketing aspect, right?
Yep.
They're like, is this real? What's a $2 bill?
Yep. Yeah, so basically just like constant connecting, like high value things. If I send you something in the mail, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be value based.
Yeah, I haven't gotten anything in the mail.
God, do you want them?
I want something.
All right,
I'm going to mail you something.
I should
actually have a great idea for you. I'm going to jot it down. Yeah. What are you doing for Christmas?
TBD, babe.
TBD. How was Florida?
It was awesome. Yeah, Florida was actually really, really great. Like we left it on a whim because my sister canceled Thanksgiving. Like legitimate canceled it. She was like, we had the whole family all set up, and she's like, we're going horseback riding, so like figure it out yourself.
Nice.
And so we're all just left empty-handed, and then we just went to Florida as the three of us, and it was
I bet you
great.
loved it.
It was great.
Hanging on the beach.
Yep.
Where'd you go?
Marco Island.
Nice.
A lot of old people there, though.
Yeah.
You know, but that's kind of okay. I'm kind of over the...
Well, you fit right in. They're in their Speedos, and you're in your Speedo, right?
That's right. Let it hang.
We have
gotten off topic here. Let's just call it a day. What have we got here? We 30 minutes into it?
Yeah. Any listener questions or anything? This is live, right?
Yeah, it's definitely live. Let's just type in here. God. All right.
There we go.
If you guys have any insurance questions, let Troy know. He's awesome. He runs a really great team.
Thanks, Mike.
Like I said, he's got all of my stuff. Take really good care of it. Bree takes care of me quite well, which is awesome.
Yep. Bree's great.
Yep. Troy's the kind of guy where if you ask him a question, he delegates it to the people who can actually take care of the stuff, which is really, really nice.
Thank you.
Don't
Thank
feel like
you. Sometimes people feel like, hey, I want to go to that person that handles everything, but if you grow, you can't always handle everything.
Here's the
you
problem.
gotta delegate.
Like if I push everything off to Laura or to Ryan when I get inquiries because they're there and they know how to do it. If you wait for me to do it, I'll just forget about it. Mm-hmm. It's out of my wheelhouse. I'll do it poorly.
Yeah. So you forward it, get it off your plate, and
so like from that perspective, I actually appreciate being direct to the person who takes care of me.
Absolutely.
If anybody's gonna get a gift, it's gonna be Bree, not you.
Well, she deserves it.
Yeah, I think
awesome. So. And you're awesome too, Mike. You're gonna get a gift from me.
Great.
Yeah.
Another $2 bill.
No, it'd be nice. It'd be something
great.
Really nice.
All right. Really nice. All right. Thank you guys. If you guys need insurance, please hit up Troy. If you are looking to buy or sell a house in the next 100 or 10 days, like give me a shout. Let's do it.
What about 160 days?
Go ahead. Reach out.
All right. Good.
That's fine. 200 days. Go for it.
That's your 360. No, don't bother.
10 or 100. That's typically when people are ready. Right now, everybody's saying like, hang on, I'm going to wait till spring. I'm not going to do anything. It's like, okay, well, it's kind of stupid to do that. But
let's, before we cut the show off, because I think buyers are afraid to put in an undercut offer. Would you work with someone that's like, I want to get a deal on a house. This house is just went on the market for $500,000. I want to offer $4 million. Would you do it?
It's not going to work right now, but of course I'd do it.
Okay.
But it's not going to work right now. Yeah.
Okay.
That's what's stabilizing the marketplace right now is that sellers don't give a crap. They're just like, whatever, I'll just stay then.
Gotcha. Makes sense.
Yep. So yeah, you want to look at like I said, you look at the high water mark. So if the high water mark was 5 and the the asking price was 450, it's probably 450 right now. It's not 4.
Gotcha.
That makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to what the market saw when the bidding war happened, and that's what the market will typically react to right now.
So don't go off emotion. Talk to an expert like Mike Hall.
Yep, you got it.
That's right.
Peace out, you guys. Thanks for listening in.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.